So today, we are going to do top 10 most dangerous gangs, Um, and I'm gonna have a question for you guys. You guys tell me, um, is there any gangs that they may be missing? Is there like some false like history in the video? I mean, you guys tell me in the comments, but I kind of like doing the top 10 just because it's short and sweet, and I tend to learn a little bit more when it's like short and compact like that. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. And y'all like the video, subscribe, and let's get into it. All right. Oh, and by the way, the video is by Mafia Side, so make sure to drop them a follow. All right.
The violence generated by the gangs that plague the cities of the United States turns out to be a headache for the authorities. They are responsible for thousands of deaths of innocent civilians and other gang members each year. Citizens are demanding answers, and the police recognize that this is a problem they can no longer handle. In this video, we will name the 10 most dangerous gangs in the United States. 10. Somali gangs. Pandilleros who are recruited from the Somali community choose to become members of gangs like Crip or Blood upon arrival in the United States. According to FBI reports, since 2018, there has been an increase in all Somali gangs, creating tension with other gangs. These smaller groups engage in serious crime, including alien smuggling, human trafficking, prostitution, and bank card fraud. The Federal Bureau of Investigation detailed that the largest pockets of these gangs are in Minnesota, Washington, and Missouri, proving that
the states they just mentioned. If you're in the comments and you live in those 3 states, tell me, is that true? Is the gang violence really, really bad out there? I mean, y'all let me know.
Violence is not just a problem in major cities. 9. The Aryan Brotherhood. They were founded on a vision of white, racist hegemony, and the most notorious is the Aryan Brotherhood, also known as the Brand. It was wrought in California's San Quentin State Prison over 50 years ago by bikers of Irish origin. Although members of the Aryan Brotherhood represent only a small percentage of the country's prison population, they are responsible for up to 25% of all prison murders. This gang is involved in activities such as drug smuggling and prostitution, but especially hate crimes, making them one of the most dangerous gangs in the United States of America. 8. California 18th Street Gang. With over 15,000 members, the 18th Street Gang is the largest street gang in California. It is
I think the saddest part about all of this is like when they mention the crimes that these gangs are committing, a lot of it, affects the woman as well and affects the individual. Like in those 3 gangs that they brought up, I heard prostitution. Like, man, that sucks, like it just, it bothers me. And that's only because I have like little sisters and stuff like that, and it's like, I wouldn't want them to live that type of life, and it's like, I also wonder too, like, what makes a person join a gang? I've always been like, I always wanted to know that, like, what makes a person go from a good individual to, I'm gonna start committing crimes like this? Because some of the stuff they're mentioning, these aren't little petty things. These are big deals. Like, I mean, people doing serious time for them. So I always kind of wondered that side.
Expanded rapidly in recent years, with members in 32 states. Los Angeles residents experience violent robberies on a daily basis by the 18th Street Gang. According to the Department of Justice, they have turned the Northern Triangle of Central America into one of the areas with the highest homicide rates in the world. They have been linked to murder, arson, assault, human trafficking, and prostitution, in addition to various other crimes. While they operate primarily in Southern California, They are also considered internationally active in Canada, Spain, the United Kingdom, Australia,
Wow.
France, and Mexico. The Aztecs. The Aztecs originally started in El Paso, Texas, and many of their members were recruited from within the Texas prison system. Some of the gang's activity actually occurs inside Texas prisons. Los Aztecas' strict military structure and ties to major Mexican cartels help maintain order, and its members have been known to engage in drug trafficking, illegal alien smuggling, and murder. The gang is so well known that it even appeared in the video game saga Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I did not know that.
6. Florence 13. The Florence 13, a South Los Angeles gang with ties to the Mexican Mafia, are strong rivals to the 18th Street Gang. The Florence 13 are sophisticated drug dealers, known for committing murder and other violent crimes. In 2011, 94 Florence 13 gang members pleaded guilty to felony charges, but 6 members were sentenced by the court to life in prison for their violent crimes. 5. Latin Kings.
I heard about them.
The Latin Kings, born on the streets of Chicago in the 1940s, are now the largest Hispanic gang in the United States. It's hard to know exactly, but there are an estimated 18,000 to 35,000 members in Chicago alone. The group has reached 34 states. The strict organizational structure and strong religious aesthetic encourage loyalty, something the Kings take very seriously.
The KC Collision Center caters to all your auto repair needs with a modern certified facility. Exceptional.
4. The Crips and the Bloods. Technically, they are different bands. These two rival gangs are perhaps the best known in the country. The Bloods are a Los Angeles street gang that formed in the 1970s and quickly spread across the country. It is estimated that there are between 20,000 and 20.
I think what's so crazy about all of this also is that I know a lot of these people who probably join those gangs are only joining that because of their, the environment that they grew up in. That's all they know. You got to think, if you grew up in an area that glorified that type of living, you're going to want to join it too. Don't let you come from an establishment or a household that don't really consider you like family or treat you like family. You're going to try to go to the closest thing that resembles family. So I kind of sympathize with a lot of these people, because a lot of them are only there because it brings familiarity. It brings safety to them. It makes them feel like, if something happened to them, they got people to back them up. So I definitely understand it, but man, it's just the amount of chaos these gangs bring to the streets is ridiculous.
25,000 active members of the Bloods today. They can be recognized by their unusual hand signals and by wearing red outfits. The Crips were also founded in California in the 1960s before spreading across the U.S. Today, they have a strong presence in New York City. There are up to 50,000 active members of the Crips in the U.S. Both the Bloods and the Crips became embroiled in murder, organized crime, and drug trafficking, and the bitter rivalry between the two gangs leads to frequent conflicts and violent retaliation between them. 3. The Royals formed in the city of Chicago in the 1950s and are the oldest and largest white gang in the United States. 53% of the members in Mississippi are white, even though all 97 people prosecuted for gang crimes in Mississippi between 2010 and 2017 were African American. According to City University of New York criminal law professor Babe Howell, police tend to underestimate the percentages of white, black, and Hispanic gang members. He explains that police view groups of white youth as individuals,
I've never heard of
each
this
responsible for their own conduct, and view youth of color on the street as gangs criminally responsible for the conduct of their peers. 2. The Outlaws. The Outlaws make up the top 1% of the most dangerous motorcycle gangs in the country, second only to the notorious Hells Angels. The Outlaws are the biggest and toughest rivals of the aforementioned, and with over 1,700 members and hundreds of chapters, they are believed to be the largest outlaw motorcycle gang in the world. The Outlaws, formed in 1935 at Matilda's Bar, located on Old Route 66 in a Chicago suburb, making them the oldest organization in the world. They are extremely active in the Great Lakes region and have been known to be involved in drug smuggling across the Canadian border.
What's so crazy about this? Like, I knew there were motorcycle gangs, but like, I guess like I kind of thought like I didn't know they were like kind of like what you see in the shows and the movies and stuff like that. You know, like you got the TV show Mayans and Sons of Anarchy. Like I thought that was like only behind like a screen. I didn't know there were actual motorcycle gangs out here actually doing crime and stuff like that. So to see that, that's kind of crazy. Sorry about that, guys. Let's keep going.
Violent confrontations with rival gangs are common. 1.
Tells you how ignorant I
The
am.
Mara Salvatrucha, or MS-13. Born on the streets of Los Angeles, California in the 1970s, it has members in 42 U.S. states. The deportation of many members to El Salvador backfired on the authorities and facilitated the organization's expansion throughout Central America. MS-13 has no official leadership structure, but its loose organization doesn't stop it from being one of the most dangerous gangs in the country. With fewer than 10,000 members, they are so notoriously violent that the FBI has a separate special task force called MS-13 to try to combat
just for them.
Have you heard of any of these groups in the news? Leave your opinion.
That's pretty much the end of the video. But I mean, you guys tell me, like, did they mention all of the top dangerous gangs, or are there some that they probably missed and they just never made it to the list? Leave a comment below, and is some of this stuff factual? But hey, you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I appreciate the support, and we're just gonna keep it going. All right, have a good one.